Okay, so hi everyone. Now let's get into it. So we are going to look at building your confidence every day in English. So we will look at the steps that you can take. But before then, let's talk about where you're from. So I can say, I'm originally from. Any guesses where I'm from? Maybe some of you already know. Okay. Hi, everyone. If you can, please mute yourself. I'm going to get into it in just a minute. So I'm originally from. We can say I'm originally from. This is where I'm from. So I am from the Isle of Wight, which is a small island in the south of England.
No.
Okay. So if you are just entering, if you can please just mute and then we can get right into it. We have quite a lot to cover today. So I am sorry if you've just joined with the issue with StreamYard, but I am going to record it and I will post the recording. I can send it to you as well. So I am from the Isle of Wight in the south of England, but I'm currently based in. So we can say this if we are in a different place to where we were born, so where we're originally from. So I'm originally from the Isle of Wight, but I'm currently based in, I'm also in Mexico. I'm in Queretaro in Mexico. As you can see, very sunny and very beautiful here. Okay. Let's go. Perfect. Okay. So where do you currently live? Do you live in a place that's different to where you are originally from? Okay, I have my chat down here, so I'm going to just see. Okay. So I am going to reveal, let's get into it. As we are running a little bit behind, I do apologize. We're going to look at some of the language secrets. Now, what we're looking at is how you can make a shift from feeling scared using English to being able to speak up. For example, if you have a meeting or a job interview. So we're going to look at what you can do, what you're currently doing. And at the end, we're also going to be looking at habit stacking. So how can you make learning English, improving your English, a habit? So how can you do that every single day? So also, if you do stay with me, I will share you, it's a brand new action plan. So it's a workbook and it will go through how you can become a confident communicator. So there are 7 steps. We will be going deeper into at least 2 of those steps today altogether. So let's get started. Also, to make the most of the session, if you can have no distractions, so please stay focused. I really value your time. It's very precious. So if you can, yeah, please no distractions and come back to me. So what are you currently doing? What are you currently doing to build your confidence in English? So for example, are you chatting with someone? Are you chatting with a friend? Do you listen to music? What are some of the things that you're doing? Let me know. Do you watch TV series? Coming in. Okay, let's see what you're doing. All of those. Oh, we have another one that I missed. Gaming. Who here likes to game? Ari said, all of those things plus gaming. Okay. Nice. TV series. Isabella said TV series, English apps, songs. Yeah, that's a good way. All of those too. Wow. Anything else that I haven't included here? Something that you do? So Erica said all of those things. Grammy as well. Okay. Is Grammy an app or do you mean study grammar? Okay. Mariana said sing, watch TV series or music, study. Yeah. Chat with some friends. Maybe our day-to-day jobs. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll be looking at that shortly. Okay, there's a few more people joining. Let's go. So you are doing lots of different steps. So watching TV series, watching YouTube, gaming. Now this is perfect, especially if you are looking to build your confidence and improve your everyday English. But what about your professional English? Oh, nice. We have studying a certificate for UX design. Yeah, for sure. So studying, whether that is for your hobby or for your career, taking classes in a second or in English, a second language or in English is a great step to take. I like that one. Okay. Perfect. So have you ever felt like this? So I would love to learn English, but I feel really nervous speaking it. And I have few opportunities to practice. Maybe you are consuming English, you're listening, you're watching, but are you speaking English? Does that sound familiar to anyone? Or perhaps this might be you. I want to move forward in my career, but I worry that my English is holding me back. Perhaps some of you have had an interview in English, or you want to have an interview, but you're just too nervous to do that. And maybe you've already lost some opportunities. Does that sound familiar? Has that happened? Yep, Ari said, yep. To talk in English, I feel nervous. Yeah. Yeah, I know how that feels. For sure. Perhaps you can speak English well. Maybe you have been learning English for many years, but you feel that you're not being taken seriously as a professional. So maybe you would like to excel in your career, go to the next level. Maybe you want to iron out some of the mistakes that you learned many years ago, or perhaps you just haven't really studied English for a long time. So which one would you say feels the most like you? Number one, that you would love to learn, but you're nervous to speak. In my case, okay, Ari said a bit rusty when speaking. Okay. And do you have the opportunity to practice? So if that's you, you can just put number one in the comments. Does that sound familiar? You would love to improve, but you have little opportunity to do it. Okay. Or perhaps the second one, number two. Yeah, Ari said number one. Okay. Any other ones? So number two is that you have lost some opportunity in English, or at least in your career. So because of your English. So maybe you want to be promoted, or you want to work with a global team, but you're too scared to do that and your English is holding you back. Okay, so Gabriella said, I can chat in English, but I want to try an international career and I have to improve to a professional level. Yes, so number 2, perfect. Number 2, okay. And Erica said, I lose the words when I want to say or express in English. I think I'm both. I really want to improve it. Okay. And then we have Fernando, number 2, Isabella, number 2. Antonio, okay, you have an interview on Monday. How can I talk more naturally? Can you please remind me of that question at the end, because we will look into that a bit more. So we have, sorry, if you can mute yourself, I just don't know what we have. Okay, thank you. Right, so what about number 3? What about this one? That you can speak well, but you just want to be taken even more seriously. So maybe you would like to have a promotion, perhaps, or it could be that you are happy where you are. You're happy with your job, but you just want to sound more professional or have just more confidence in English. And number 3s, we have lots of number 2. Okay, Antonio's number 3. Okay, we have a few more. Let's bring them in. Okay, so we know that improving your English is not an easy task. It's a big, big challenge. In fact, many language learners and English language learners will lose interest. They will start to get bored and demotivated. And that kind of can lower your confidence. We will have a look at some of the reasons why. So why is it so difficult to feel confident in English? We all know that you want to improve for many different reasons. But there's that but. You have a reason why you're not making that progress. So when you sit down to study, you start to feel this is a waste of time. You're not making any progress. And it becomes too difficult. You start to get overwhelmed. And also, there's so many ways that you can improve in your English. You can listen to your favorite podcast, listen to music, watch TV series. You can take a class. You can take a class in a different subject. You can speak with friends. There's a lot of free information, YouTube channels. So where do you start? What can you do? Also, I'm pretty sure most of you are quite busy people. You're too busy. Maybe you can only practice for a very short time at night, or maybe very early in the morning, and you just don't have enough time. Or you do, but you keep putting it off and off and off. So how many times have you picked up an app to study English and you got bored after a few hours, maybe even minutes? Does that sound familiar? Has that happened? I see. I know for me, I go and have a look, get bored, and then try and find another YouTube channel or another app. Okay, many times. Yeah, for sure. So another thing is, another reason why you may not be feeling confident is that you had a bad experience. Perhaps you felt embarrassed. Maybe you were asked to present a project, or you had to speak to a client in English, and it was a bad experience. And you keep living that experience. Yeah, Alejandro said every time. Okay, I'm not sure if that's for the bad experience or the app, but for sure. So maybe you have tried to learn or use English before, and it was very awkward. Maybe you were mispronouncing and you kept just putting it off because you had that one bad experience. I know for me that has happened to me. I do learn Spanish. I've learned a few languages, and Spanish, I've had some bad experiences. I can give you an example. So one example, I do go into this even more in my podcast, but I say about how I go into a shop and I feel really nervous to use English, or really nervous to use Spanish for me. And I don't want to go back, or I just keep putting it off because I made a mistake in my pronunciation and it was very embarrassing. So that could be another reason why you're feeling low in confidence. So what do you think is the first and most important thing that you can do? Any ideas? What do you think you could do if you have low confidence in English? Any ideas? Let me know in the comments. Keep trying. Yeah. Okay, look for someone to help you out. That's a nice one. Yeah, a friend, maybe a colleague, a mentor, or a teacher. Any other ideas? Yeah, a teacher. Keep practicing the conversation, and I read it and I write it. Yeah, practice, practice, practice. Speak, even if you get it wrong. Yeah, you're getting closer, for sure. Keep speaking. So the biggest thing I would say is to learn what are the barriers holding you back. So what I mean by this is knowing what is causing the trigger or the area that you most need to improve. So we know lots of ways to improve English, but what is going to help you to get to your next step? Because you can have a conversation in English or you can understand English, but maybe you cannot present your work, or perhaps you don't have the confidence to have some small talk with your colleagues, or what language to use in a professional setting. So I'm going to, sorry, my glasses are steaming. So one thing could be not knowing what to say or what language to use in a specific situation. You may be thinking, is this language too technical? So depending on the industry you work for, if you work in, maybe you're a designer, or maybe you work in tech, or you're an IT manager, perhaps you work in marketing, the language will be specific to each industry. If you go to a doctor and the doctor uses medical language, unless you have a background understanding of medical English, you're not likely to understand everything. So that can also be an area, a barrier that's holding you back as well. So what language do you use in a presentation? What language do I use in a meeting? So it's knowing the specific language for each situation. Another concern could be that the language I'm using is too simple. You may be worried that you use basic language. Another could be the concern of sounding over-friendly and not professional enough. Another I'm going to look into is also the difference in culture. English is a global language, not just American and British, but it's knowing, that's just there as an example. So knowing with Americans, generally, you're more likely to be direct. In British English, we value politeness and being more indirect. So again, am I being too direct? Am I too polite? So that's one potential barrier holding you back from building your confidence. So for me, I'm going to share my example. For me, the biggest barrier that I worry using Spanish in Mexico is the fear of sounding too direct or rude. So I lived in Spain and I learned Spanish from Spain. And in Spain, generally, you can be more direct. Now, when I arrived to Mexico, I realized that is not the case. It's very polite using usted, always. I never even learned how to use usted because I never needed to. So I always worry if I'm speaking to someone, am I being too rude? That is a concern of mine. Erica said, I don't want to sound rude. No, for sure. And Ari said, yeah, that's true. Okay, Mariana said, my fear is to find the right word. They are very to the point. Yeah, that's it. Okay, to feel more comfortable to speak at my job because most of the words are technical. However, it's another story for informal conversations. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying here about being over-friendly, or am I sounding too formal that I'm not able to create a relationship, a professional relationship with my colleagues? Okay, perfectionism stops me. Yeah, for sure, that's a big one. Okay. Who here is a perfectionist? I know for me, that was one of the reasons holding me back. Yeah, I can feel you for sure. I feel the same. Okay. Perfect. So here are just some examples that I'm going to teach you, just very quick, just a mini session. So in British English, if we're asking for something, we would always use please, thank you. These are just some examples. So I would say, could I please order? Please, may I? If it's too much trouble, if it isn't too much trouble, I would like to have. That's a very common phrases to use in British English. Okay. Okay, Alejandro said, I get shy talking to American people, clients, but not practicing with my Latino colleagues. Okay, I'm from the perfectionist team. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Gabriella said, I want to work with UX research and fear not understanding some subtle meanings while searching and then presenting my work. Okay, some good points. So as you can see in British English, even in a workplace, you would want to use polite language, please, if it isn't too much trouble. This is what I learned in Spain. Maybe this isn't true. I don't know if anyone here is from Spain, but I learned I would first say, I want or give me. It's just a lot more direct, and that isn't considered rude. Whereas we're more likely to use expressions like, shall we, would you mind? Okay. So I am going to show you some, just for a bit of fun, some very British phrases. And these phrases are used all the time in the UK. So I just wanted to share them because I think it's just a little bit of fun. So we have the word faff, faff. We were just faffing about. So faff means to waste time doing very little. So if someone isn't working or they're not putting the energy into something, or they're busy, but they're not really doing something, they're wasting time, I would say, stop faffing. Stop faffing. That's a very, very British phrase. Another one you may hear is cost a bomb. Now, if something costs a bomb, it is expensive. I would say, your dress is gorgeous. I should hope so. It cost a bomb. So what kind of idioms or phrases have you heard? Are there any phrases you want to share with me? What phrases do you hear? It could be American or British or not. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have Catherine who said, I've never heard faff around, but I know how to do it. Actually, I want to introduce you to Catherine because Catherine is from California in the US. So it's great to have an American with us. You can let us know if anything that I say or what you use in the US. So thanks for that, Catherine. Perfect. Oh, I like this one. Erica said he has bigger fishes to fry. Does anyone know what that means? What do you think having bigger fishes to fry means? I have heard this on TV. Yeah, that's a good one. Any guesses what that one means? Yeah, Fernando, you're right. More important things to do. Yeah. Oh, learn English is not rocket science. Okay. So if something is rocket science is very difficult. Yeah, so learning English is easy. That's what it means. Erica, speak about the elephant in the room. Oh, that's a very popular one. And Catherine, if you can let us know, I know that one is also used in the US. I hear my American friends saying this one. Oh, Alejandro said, yeah, definitely. So yeah, I will just, before coming to you, Alejandro, speak about the elephant in the room. So the elephant in the room is something that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to address. Okay, and then we have Alejandro, not my cup of tea. When you don't really prefer the thing you are referring to. Yeah, so it's saying I don't like it. It's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is something very good for me. As a British person, we love drinking tea. So if it's not my cup of tea, I don't like it. That's a good one, Alejandro. Okay, some nice examples. We have another one. So this one, splash out. To splash out means to spend a lot of money on a particular item or an event. Wow, you've really splashed out on this party. Oh, okay. Erica said easy peasy. I've heard this a lot on TV too. Yeah, as a child, we would say easy peasy lemon squeezy. Something's very easy. Okay. What about, we have one more. Okay, Catherine said, I guess splash out. I could guess splash out, but I haven't heard it. Okay, that's interesting. Splash out is used a lot in the UK. And Catherine from the US is saying that it's not typically used. She hasn't heard it before. One thing she said though is that you could guess the meaning. So someone mentioned earlier, I'm not sure who that was, but they were saying that learning the subtle differences of what people mean, the context, that's a big challenge. Okay. Easy peasy reminds of piece of cake. Yeah, it's very similar meaning, piece of cake. Okay, this one, this is one of my favorite ones. A waffle, I'm sure you know what a waffle could be from as a dessert. So I like to eat waffles, sometimes with an ice cream or some berries like in the picture. But in the UK, it has a very different meaning. So if I say, what a load of waffle, or I wish he would stop waffling on, it means to say a lot or to speak a lot or write a lot, but not really say anything important or useful. So a waffle could be nonsense, it's rubbish. Rubbish is also another one that we use. So it's garbage in the US or trash. Ari said, I love British expressions. Yeah, the waffle one is it makes me laugh every time I hear it. Maybe you've heard this one in TV series or even with some of your British colleagues or clients if you have any. Okay, Marianne, I agree. It should be something very important because waffles are good. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay. So another thing, a reason why you're not able to build your confidence in English is the constant comparison. So we've spoken about perfectionism. Part of perfectionism is being very hard on yourself. When you learn a language, it's not a clear straight line up. It's not linear. It can feel like you're going backwards. I know for me, learning Spanish, I started by learning every week. I had 1 hour of classes every week, and then I increased that. And then I lived in Spain as well. And after living in Spain, I was using Spanish all the time, every day. And then I came back to the UK and I didn't say any words in Spanish. I didn't listen to any music. I didn't speak to any friends in Spanish. And it was a big mistake because I did go backwards. It felt like I was going backwards because I wasn't using it. So I was hard on myself. When I first arrived in Mexico, I hadn't used Spanish for so long, but in my mind, I would think I used to speak Spanish. So why can't I speak Spanish now? And I was very hard on myself. And then I had friends who had the same situation, but they could speak perfectly. They had no problems. They didn't forget their words. And I would compare myself. Yeah, Catherine, it's not linear, no. Anyone else experience something like that, where maybe you were studying in school or you haven't used it for a long time and it felt like you were going backwards? Or maybe you were taking class with someone else, or your colleagues are speaking perfect English, what seems like perfect English, and it doesn't feel like that for you. It could be a reason. So mindset really is everything when it comes to building your confidence. So not being hard on yourself. Another point that I think is very important is knowing your why. So maybe you have been told by your company to improve your English. Maybe you don't want to, or maybe you had to learn it at school, or you think you should learn English. Anyone be honest? Does that ever feel like you? Do you feel a pressure? You don't really have a reason other than you think you should learn English? Okay. Yeah. So if you know your reason, hopefully that reason will come from you. it will be easier to make progress because you have a destination in mind. You know what you want to do. And it's less likely that you will give up or lose interest when that happens. So when you have a solid reason, learning will not feel like learning anymore. You will have a routine and it will just be a part of your life, something that you do every day, every week. It becomes natural. So I'm going to ask you a question what is your biggest motivation right now? What do you want to do to improve your English? What's motivating you? The biggest motivation? Is it to get the dream job, earn more money? Is it to speak with your colleagues or maybe have better clients? Maybe being able to take a course, a better job, the dream job. Oh, Gabriella, what's your dream job? Self-improvement. Yeah, maybe it's just for yourself. You know you can. Okay. And instead, study abroad. I want to have a dream job as well. Yeah. Earn in dollars, for sure. Yeah, earn in dollars. Or maybe even in pound. The pound is even higher. That's a nice one. Grow in my career and get a better position in my job. I want to meet other cultures. Yeah, that's a nice reason to meet people from other cultures. Pounds. Yeah, British pounds. Alejandro. Definitely. I like that. I can share with you my biggest motivation. My biggest motivation, I have a few why I want to improve in my Spanish. I want to be able to speak day to day with friends and have a better connection with them and with my family. And also, so I can have a better understanding of what it feels like for my students. That's also another reason. Yeah, get a better job and be able to express myself. Yeah, that's a nice one. Okay, so we're going to look at setting realistic goals because I see this all the time. And I'm guilty of this. I think, okay, I want to speak perfect Spanish. I want to have great pronunciation. And I want to sound like a native speaker. I want to become a fluent English speaker. Or it could be something like, I just want to strengthen my communication skills. I also hear, I want to speak faster. I want to speak slower. Some people are worried they speak too quickly. So how can we set our goals and achieve them? There's 3 steps that I'm going to share with you today. The first one is to choose just one thing. And then we have to create habits around that one thing. And then we prepare and we make a plan. These are the 3 steps that I like to follow, not just with language learning, with any goal that you have. We're going to look at how to do it right now. So this is an example of one thing you can do to improve. So it could be that you want to introduce yourself to a new colleague or a client in English. That could be my one goal. Could also be that I want to learn to speak up. I want to share my idea at the next meeting. It could be that I want to listen to my favorite weekly podcast, or I want to read an article every morning about my career. Or you want to build your vocabulary. Maybe you will do this by writing down 3 new words a month. That could be one way. So one thing. Let's see what your one thing is. What is one thing that you would like to do? I want you to just think about it for now. So how do we make it a habit? We know being consistent will move you forward. I believe that once you create a habit, you do it for more than 30 days, an action for 30 days, it will become a habit. It will feel very natural, just like waking up, having breakfast, or cleaning your teeth, or going to work. It will become a habit. So how do we create a habit? Now, these are some things you can do. So I have a set sentence. After I will. So after the habit that you currently do. So after I take a shower, I will, let's say in a regular habit, it could be after I take a shower, I will brush my teeth. That's a regular habit that you could stack. In English, it could be before I drive to work or before I start my job, I will spend 5 minutes reading an article in English. Or we can do it as every time. So every time I walk my dog, I will listen to an audiobook in English. So it's something that you're doing at the same time. Every time I will. Let's see what those could be for you. So what is a habit that you will commit to? What's a habit that you want to do? I'm going to go back to this one. We could have an every time. Let me know what's something that you're going to do every time I will. Okay. Yeah, habit stacking. The habit stacking, if you do want to learn more, it actually comes from, I have the book here. No, I don't. That's a lie. The book is from Atomic Habits, and it teaches this for your life. But I believe, and I know for myself, it's worked with language learning. So every time what are you going to do? What's the one thing that you're going to do? I'll leave it here. What is the habit that you're going to commit to? Share it in the chat with me. Okay, I like this. Fernanda said, every time I wake up, I will read an article related to my career. Yeah, that's a nice one. And we'll go back to the examples for you. Okay, this one could be that I write down 3 new words. If you work in a job, in a company, so your job is in English, perhaps if you work, your team is English, you can write down, it doesn't even have to be 3 words, even just 1 word would really help to improve in your vocabulary, or 1 phrase. Our phrases like bath, piece of cake. Okay. What's the habit that you're going to commit to? Okay, I will start with 1 small step, but keep it consistent. Okay. And what is that 1 step? What is that exact thing you're going to do? You have to think about your goal. And I think Brennan told me that you would like to work for a global company, an international company, if I remember correctly. Okay, read an article every day. Now, if it is a specific goal related to your career, you want to have a goal that takes you along that path in that direction. So it could be, for example, that or every time I go on social media, or when I use LinkedIn, I will message 1 person about a potential job. So it could be when you do social media, something that you do every day. Okay, Catherine said 1 that would be great for many is in every meeting, I will speak up at least once. Yeah, that's great. Is every meeting I have this week, it could just be this week, I will say or share my idea during that meeting. Okay, Gabriella said, every evening I will explain to myself one task that I've done that day, but aloud in English. I love that one. And it's not an easy task to do. Explaining what you're doing is a great activity. It could be that every time I make breakfast, I will explain one task to myself that I've done that day. It could even be even more of a habit. Mariana, talk to myself when I take a bath. I like that one. Another one could be, if you take a shower, you could sing English songs. That's something that I love to do. I like to sing music. I love to sing in Spanish, even in other languages like French and Arabic. It's so fun to sing in different languages. And it does help with your pronunciation. It could be as simple as that. Depending on what your goal is, if you want to improve your pronunciation and just becoming more familiar with the language, then that would be a nice goal. Alejandro, every time I cook dinner, I will describe everything I did that day aloud. That's cool. That's nice. Okay. So let's focus. Now, the great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. We have to take action, even if we take very small steps. So thank you for sharing your habits. I am just going to do just a quick summary about myself. If you don't know much about me, or if you were unable to join in the beginning, I am Gemma Keeling. I'm the CEO of Fluent Speakers, and I'm coaching one-on-one, group coaching, and I'm working with students from now more than 30 different countries. I live in Mexico, but I'm originally from the Isle of Wight, and I have been in education for more than 11 years, researching and teaching. I have a master's degree in applied linguistics from Oxford University, and I do have a degree in Spanish as well. So that's a little bit about me. So I have a few final words that I have to share with you, because you mentioned that you are a perfectionist. At least many of you have said that. Okay, Alejandro, before you go, tell us something in Spanish, okay? I don't know what you want me to say. Okay, Gabriela said I have to leave for another meeting. No worries, I am recording it and I can send it to you. So thank you so much for being here. So it doesn't have to be difficult. I've always made things difficult for myself, and I've spent so much time trying to simplify it. It can be easy, one thing, one goal at a time, one habit at a time. You've definitely got this. So I will share with you the action plan that I mentioned. We looked at just two areas really that I go into. So the two areas were building the habits and also learning the basic language. So what language? There was actually three, that's a lie. I also looked at today is the barriers holding you back. In this action plan, it goes into even more detail. I'm just going to share the link. I will share the link with you in the LinkedIn group, so you can grab it later if you've had to go. So do you have any questions? I'm sorry that we ran over, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And we have Catherine here, who's also an expert. She's an expert especially in vocabulary. So if you want to improve, especially in your vocabulary, she's here today. So I can hear you laughing. Yes. Okay. Alejandro says say something in Spanish. No sé exactamente. I don't know what you want me to say. So do you have any questions about any area that we've addressed today, or it could be your own problem? I remember someone did say something about, there was a question previously. So if you do have a question. please let me know. Okay. Ari said, I'd love to have someone to practice me speaking. No questions, but thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. It's been fun. I really hope that you've had some value. Now, building your confidence is a huge task. I've only been able to cover just a small amount today, but I hope what I have covered will give you some momentum to take some action. And if you do want to take even more action, I do have lots of resources, free resources that I will be sharing. I have a weekly podcast, which is called The Design of Communication. It's not just for designers. It's about learning a language, the career strategies, the steps that you can take. I share my own experiences like I have a little bit today. Okay. I think I will share them all in the chat here. Okay, Marianne, I would like to know if I want classes with you. You want to know if you want to? So right now I'm not running classes, but I do have a plan to do that at the start of next year, so in January. But we can stay in touch. If you do have any questions for me directly, send me a message. So do we have any more questions? I'll give you just, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, Alejandro said, taking the time to share or sharing. Okay, that's a good question. I'm going to write. So you would say, thank you for taking the time to share, or you can say, thank you for sharing. That's both correct. Okay, thanks so much. Well, thank you. So if you don't have any more questions, if you do, just let me know directly. I will be sharing the worksheet with the 7 actions you can take. It will be inside the chat, and I'll also share it on the page. I am really sorry for the problems with LinkedIn. I am planning to go live again. I think we will have to do this again once we set up StreamYard. I know there's been some changes with the way live events happen on LinkedIn. So I do apologize for that, and also for the delay in starting. I know for many of you, it is the first LinkedIn live event that you've come to watch as well. So perfect. So like I said, it can be easy, one thing at a time. You've definitely got this. Okay, yeah, for sure. It says I can share my email address. Eric, someone is asking for the emails. I can definitely do that, no problem. Just send me a direct message if you have any questions. If you're too shy to ask, I understand. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And thank you, and we will speak soon. Bye. One thing at a time. That's it. Got it. See you. Bye. Nice to see you.